Well, I'm headed over to Adam's house. We got a truckload of material there and we're ready to get started on the hearth. But also today on Texas Home Improvement, we're going to take a look at Christmas trees, how to pick the right one and how to keep it that way. All right, so we've got the fireplace, got a finish on it. We still got to build the hearth down here. Well, there's a good Christmas tip for you. Yeah. Well, if I had my rifle with me, I could do a little deer hunting through here now. Coming through here, yeah.
Smile. You woke up in Texas.
I'm Jim Dutton, and I've been a contractor here in the great state of Texas for over 40 years.
It ain't a good day till we tear something up. Tools make the job.
To help as many people as I possibly could, I started a radio show over 20 years ago. Now to help even more people, I'm rolling up my sleeves and hitting the road.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, look how beautiful it is.
In Texas, most contractors don't have to have a license, so it's buyer beware.
And that's what you get when you hire a bootleg contractor.
You don't know what you're talking about. I've been building homes for over...
Yeah, and I've been fixing homes for over 40 years because of people like you. It doesn't work in Texas. This is Texas Home Improvement.
Previously on Texas Home Improvement.
Really, I'm actually thinking take this wall out to make the living room in here kind of more of a uniform space.
The open concept.
Yeah.
All right, so you always want to make sure to read the directions. Now, when we purchased the flooring, the sales rep recommended using this underlayment. But in reading the instructions now, it actually would void the warranty on the floor itself. And that's not going to do any of us any good. So we're actually going to take this underlayment out and put the floor down without any underlayment.
So far you can see we got crate stone over. They did this wonderful fireplace. We still have the hearth to do. The hardest thing that we've done on the house so far is we got the ceiling put in place. That was a pain beyond pains. And then over here you can see we've been getting the kitchen put together as well, painting the cabinet doors, getting the cabinet boxes in place, getting it all ready for flooring.
All right, it was good to get everything cleaned up at Adam's house so we could really get back to work. Now it's time to get the hearth built so we can get this fireplace finished and the rest of the floors put in. All right, so we've got the fireplace, got a finish on it. We still got to build the hearth down here. And we want to have a curve, kind of like it had before, because coming through this little walkway here, you don't want to be hitting your shins on the sharp corner and stuff. So we're going to use these blocks, and obviously we got more blocks than this, to build the structure of it. Then we'll put a slate top on the top of it and face the front of it with more of the Create stone material here. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. First thing we're going to do is we have a light line from a previous arch that we had drawn on here. We're going to go ahead and get that drawn out, pop our chalk lines, start mixing mud so that we can mortar all the blocks in place. And the hollow parts of the blocks, we're going to go ahead and fill that with mortar as well to make everything solid. You know, when you're marking these arcs to build all your material out, you got to keep in mind you're going to have your finished material sticking out another inch. So it's critical you measure everything right. You know, everybody's always looking for new technology to do stuff, but when it comes to making a straight line, nothing beats the chalk line. So we're going to pop a chalk line simply because it's quick, easy, and it's accurate. All right, we got our first batch of mud mixed up. We're just using off-the-shelf masonry mix here. We're going to put a little bit down so that we can use that as a leveling and it helps adhere to the concrete, and we'll just start setting our blocks in place. Guys who do this for a living, they're gonna laugh at this little video because they wouldn't take the time to do all that. They'll throw the mud down, set the blocks in place, and be a whole lot faster than I am. But I don't do this for a living. So we're gonna throw a little bit down on the sides there as well. In order to do that, I'll just throw me a little stack of mud that I can work from. And as you push it into place, it squeezes it up some. And then you can dump the rest down in. And I'm being a little bit cautious here because I don't want it running way up the wall and staining our finish that we've already got. So I gotta somewhat take it easy, and I'm not worrying about what drops in there because we're gonna fill all those squares anyways. Now, I went ahead and cut a half block for in between because I want my joints staggered. And then for the outer edge, we've got these 4-inch thick blocks. The nice thing is, nothing's gonna be structural here. This is all really just to fill a void to face it. So is it necessary to fill these voids? No, not really. But if we were building something that was gonna be tall and wanted it stout and everything, yeah, then it becomes a little bit more necessary. I'm filling it just because it makes me feel good. And it'll give me a better bonding surface when we put the top on it. All right, we got our first few pieces laid, got the holes filled, troweled them off, so that gives us a nice working top then for mounting whatever we want to put on there. Right now we're figuring on slate, but you never know what we come up with. When we picked up the material, we only had a half-ton truck that had a toolbox in it, so it limited how much material we could get. Hence, I'm short, I gotta make another material run. All right, yesterday was Black Friday. Today's the day you're gonna go get your Christmas tree. And we got a lot of stuff we grow here in Texas. Christmas trees is one of them, but really if you want that great looking Christmas tree, you gotta head up into the snow country. So we're gonna head over to the tree farm, take a look at some Christmas trees, how to pick the right one, and how to keep it looking that way. So, you know, this is the time of year everybody's getting Christmas trees, obviously. When you get a Christmas tree, we always hear you got to cut the bottom off to get it ready. So what's the rule of thumb on this?
You know, you do want to cut the bottom off, put at least like a 2-inch cut on the bottom, because it seals with sap. When I cut it from our farm up in Michigan, when we cut it down, the sap will reseal itself to protect the tree.
Right.
Well, to get it to drink water, you take about 2 inches off, 1 to 2 inches, and then that'll allow it to reabsorb water. You want to do that right before you're going to put it in water.
Okay.
So if you buy a tree from us and you're going to take it home, set it up, we do cut it off for you here.
Right.
But if you're going to leave it and not put it up for 3 or 4 days, you would want to recut it because it could reseal itself if it's not in water.
Okay, so you got a day or so, but
You got a little time, yeah.
but you don't need it laying around in the garage anyways.
Exactly.
Get it up, get it
Most
decorated.
people put it up anyways. So.
Yeah, so you got a lot of different types of trees here.
We do.
Now I have my favorites. I like the little needles and, you know, with the layers that I can put candle type stuff on it, but anything somebody wants, you basically have here. So what are the different types?
We grow a lot of different varieties. And we grow all these on our own farms up in Michigan and some from our neighbors' farms.
Okay.
Most of these came right from my dad's backyard that you're looking at here behind us right here. But we have Black Hill spruce, which are these nice dark ones you see right here.
Yep.
We have colored conifers.
Uh-huh.
We have Fraser fir. That seems to be a real popular tree right now,
Yep.
the Fraser fir. We have Douglas fir, white pine, which is the state tree of Michigan. And and blue spruce, I guess, too. And that's the biggest amount of varieties that we have this year. Some years we have some Scotch pine and a couple others, but we don't have them this season.
So how long does it take to grow a Christmas tree?
It depends on the type of tree. And you'll notice some are cost more than others,
Right.
well, because they grow slower and take more labor to grow, but on average, say a foot a year. So if you're looking at an 8-foot tree, it's probably
That takes a while
It's
then.
probably 10 years old, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So how much trimming are you guys doing throughout the year to make these shapes? Because this isn't
Yeah, they
totally
don't.
natural.
Nope, it's not totally natural. We actually trim every tree every year. So you got someone that actually has to walk around these trees in our field when we're growing them up on the farm.
Right.
They're set up just like this in rows, just like they're spaced about the same. So this kind of mirrors what they are looking like when we're growing in our fields.
Okay.
But someone's going around each tree every year and trimming them, shaping them, correcting any misgrowth, guiding the tops, things like that.
So how do you end up being the lucky one that has to come down from Michigan during the holiday season and away from home?
We are actually, I'm away from home, but I'm not away from my family.
Right.
Because all my family, if you look around here, all my family's working with us. But it's been a tradition. I was grown, since I was born, I was raised coming doing this with my family. I'm the third generation doing it. I'm actually Fred the fourth. Fred number 5 is here on the lot too. So it's been a generational thing, everyone coming down and doing this every year.
All right, so let's talk tree safety a little bit here, because people always talk about, oh, the tree's gonna catch fire and stuff like that. And we talked a little bit before, you cut it, it takes on water. That helps tremendously. It does.
That keeping a fresh tree is important. And what you'll notice is our trees, we cut these very late as possible. So these fresh cut trees are as late as you're gonna get a tree cut. That means they're gonna stay fresh longer.
Right.
And I'm not gonna put down a box store or anything else like that, but where I live, up in our area in Michigan, 6 million trees are cut a year.
Right.
You can't cut all 6 million trees
At once.
the week before they come here. So what do you cut first? Well, you're gonna cut the ones that are the lower grade trees that are usually getting bought up by the larger companies, okay? And then all these trees you see are hand-picked by us. They're selected the best ones out of the field, cut the very latest. And like a lot of these, we just unloaded these yesterday, they still had snow on them. So
wow.
to keep a tree fresh though, to kind of get back to your question there is, getting a fresh tree to start with really does help. That's probably the number one thing. Keeping water in it is next. And the fire damage isn't as much anymore because it used to be, most lights are LED now.
Right.
So they're not putting out the energy in that. Back in
They're
the...
not shorting out like they used to either.
Exactly, and back in the 70s, let's say, that, all the bulbs were a lot hotter, more
Right.
intensity and bigger bulbs. I think it was more an issue back then.
So is there anything we can put in the water to help with the life of the tree?
There is. There's a lot of home remedies you see out there. I've heard everything from vodka to aspirin to Sprite, and sometimes you mix all that together, maybe, and you should drink it, but we sell something called Keeps It Green.
Right.
It's an enzyme in there that helps keep the sap from resealing back up.
Okay.
Because like we talked about, when you cut a tree, the butt of the tree will seal back up. Over time, it'll do that too. So if you've got a tree, let's say you set it up, and some of these are so fresh that you set it up and maybe, let's say, the sap starts sealing itself back up. It quits drinking water right away.
Right.
Well, this enzyme you can put in there keeps that from happening, so it'll keep absorbing water.
Okay. I've seen some of these drip irrigation, like a tree IV type thing, where you got to drill into the side and keep water feeding in that way. Does it help?
Not so much drilling in the side could help if it was sealed up on the bottom again,
Right.
because really you just got to have a way for it to get sap. But if you look at a tree, step over here real quick. Look at the stump of a tree here.
Yep.
It's really going to absorb its water through most of the outer edge here.
Okay.
So drilling way into the tree probably isn't the best thing. It's more breaking off this sap layer that formed down here,
Yep.
so you have a fresh cut like that.
Okay.
So the number one thing is, though, keep it full of water. We like to tell everyone too, if you fill it with hot water every day too, that helps keep that sap softened up too and keep from forming so much too. So a little hot water, some of the tree preservatives you can put in there are the two of the best things.
I would not have thought about hot water. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The color of this tree is not something I normally see when I'm going around shopping, and especially at the box stores and stuff. What is this?
Yeah, you know, we talked about a little earlier, I said you're gonna see the same you see in the box stores, like the Fraser fir and Douglas fir, but we have some unique varieties too. And this is the Black Hill spruce. And Black Hill spruce, obviously, they're really dark in color. These are really popular trees. I sell a lot of these. People come specifically here for these because you won't find these usually in a box store or any other grower like that. And if you notice, you pull on a tree like this is another little tip. If you're shopping for a tree and you want to see how fresh it is, kind of just grab the needles like this. They're not coming off in your hand.
And this should have no problem making it till Christmas.
Oh yeah, definitely not, definitely not. I've had, true story here, I've had some of our guys, bachelor guys, they said they left their tree up to April. And it still was there, hanging in there. So, but that's another tip for.
I bet they weren't watering it anymore either.
They said they were still watering it, but you know, then a couple bachelor guys. Yeah. But different varieties of trees that you won't see there. These are the Black Hill spruce. This is the colored conifer. These are a really soft needle, and they smell great. And little tip, if you're shopping for a tree, you can just break it off. Take a scent of that. You smell how citrusy that is.
Yep.
And when you get your tree home, if you see you got your tree standing up and say, geez, it's not smelling as fragrant anymore, go around the back of the tree and just nip off some of the branches here and there, crack them open. It'll let the aroma come back out. It will be like a new tree every 4 or 5 days. You can keep doing that to it.
Yeah.
It'll keep refreshing the smell to it.
Well, there's a good Christmas tip for you.
You keep walking through here, you'll see some blue spruce. These are actually Colorado blue spruce grown in Michigan. These are just setting up so they will fan out and open up a little bit more. But the Colorado blue spruce have that light blue color to them.
Okay.
Here's your popular trees that you see right now are Fraser fir. We have all sizes up to 16, 17 feet of these.
Oh my goodness. Well, if I had my rifle with me, I could do a little deer hunt.
Yeah, you might see
here now.
deer coming through here, yeah. These are Douglas fir, typical Douglas fir you see. And this is something you don't see a lot too. This is the white pine. This is the state tree of Michigan. These do not shed needles.
Really?
And if you have any allergies or symptoms to a tree or any allergies like that, these are hypoallergenic tree or the closest you're gonna get to it. They don't usually cause any reactions. They're great for small kids because they're just soft. They're kind of fluffy. People just want to hug them, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. They hold up great, smell great, and they got a real, if you crack this one open and smell, it's got a real traditional pine scent.
Yeah, you can smell it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice trees. I gotta be honest, I really like the
Black Hill.
dark blue ones over there.
I
It's just
sell
not.
the heck out of those.
Yeah. So this is the way you bring them in. It's stacked up out there.
We do. We just unloaded a semi yesterday.
So how many semis will you go through in a season?
Well, we don't always have full semi loads, but we try to stagger the shipments so we get fresh trees coming in every week throughout the season so that we got up there, we'll be cutting them, shipping them down. Like next week, before next weekend, we'll get another small shipment in and you'll see them still have snow right on them coming in, so you always get the freshest trees here. When we get them in, we cut them open like this, get them staging ready to go. Right now it's a little mess back here, but we're gonna get all the piles organized and get it ready for the big weekend coming up. This will be our busiest weekend coming up right after Thanksgiving.
What's the color coding on them?
The color coding is by size, so we can quickly determine, these are 7 to 8 foot trees. We can come grab one, put it back in the stake, because we try to organize the lot when people are shopping.
Yep.
They're usually looking for a size of tree.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize when we bring a tree in, when we cut this in the field, then we run it through a machine called a baler, and this actually compacts it and actually protects the tree. If you shipped it open, the branches would become all broken and crushed. So this actually preserves moisture content of the tree, protects the branches, easier for shipping, handling, keeps it safer.
Well, it's a darn shame. Then you gotta set them up like this, they spread out, and then you gotta run them through.
Then we pack them back up,
up so we can take them home.
Yep. Here's something you don't see. This is a stand system we use, and basically it saved a lot of marriages. Because as you can see, it's got a spike in it, but nothing, no holes, no bolts to turn in or anything like that. And what we do is you'll take a tree, put a fresh cut on it, then we put it in a jig here, it'll line it up perfectly straight. We turn it on, we'll drill a hole through it, Then all you do when you get home is you slide it into the spike, stand it up, voila, straight tree, no fighting,
No arguing over
no
which
arguing.
way it's
Is it
leaning.
straight this way or that way? You put it straight every time. Even if the tree's crooked, it'll stand straight.
And so when she's arguing that, no, it's leaning a little, well, I'm sorry, that's the way they
That's the
drilled
way
the
it
hole,
is,
and
yep.
that's the way it is.
And another unique feature too is, as it's on there, you could spin the tree around
Right.
and decorate it as it goes. Then once you add water to the bowl, it'll swell up around it and locks it in place.
Hey, got a question during the week? Go to our website, thipro.com, and click on the Ask Jim button. If you're looking for a great contractor, one that'll treat you fair and get the job done right, go to thipro.com and take a look at the contractors in your area that I've already checked out. Hey, got a question about your project? Join me on News Talk 820 WVAP every Saturday at 12 o'clock. You can call in, ask your question, and get your project going.
Don't forget to listen to Texas Home Improvement every Saturday right here in Austin on News Talk 1370 AM KJCE.
Don't forget to listen to Texas Home Improvement every Saturday and Sunday right here in Houston on News Talk 740 KTRH. All right, I'm gonna head by the house, change clothes, and head on over to the Christmas tree farm and take a look. And I didn't like that one. Hey, I'm gonna head to the house and change clothes so I can head over to the Christmas tree place and take a look at how to take care of those Christmas trees. It's time to head to the house, change clothes, and head on over to the Christmas tree farm. Let's go learn how we're going to take care of those trees. I didn't like that at all. That other one was better.